Hello, 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 and welcome to Survivor Debrief. My name's Eden Porter, the unlucky loser from Survivor Titans vs Rebels. With me, as always, is my committee partner and real-life brother, Josh Porter. Josh, how you going?
I'm good. I'm very excited. It was a lovely series of episodes. Really enjoyed week 2 here.
It was a lovely series of episodes with one going into the next one. Great times all round, fun times. Let's get straight into episode 4. This has a little bit of the... I just want to chat a little bit about the aftermath of the Eliza vote.
Yes.
Because Lyndall claims the Eliza vote to Jackson, and Jackson gets sort of annoyed by that. But Harry did this vote for Loz, and I was originally like, I wonder where that's coming from. Is it to try and, like, in case there was an idol or anything like that? But it sort of played off as, oh, I did this to carry favour with Jackson, so he wouldn't know. This never works. This never works. If you know about the plan, you're a part of the plan.
Well, because he said that, and I don't think we quite necessarily saw that really laid out to be like, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't really know. We didn't really see that conversation between him and Jackson. It seemed like they'd sort of mended it and it was kind of okay. What I didn't really see from Jackson much overall is, like, a lot of people really work really hard to just, like, get back into it. Moving on, let's go, okay. And it didn't necessarily feel that strong from Jackson that that's what he was trying to do. Obviously, when you get back, very different. But like, even after that, it didn't seem like he was really trying to get inroads with people. It feels like he was like, oh, that's my number one, great.
Yeah, he definitely felt like he was throwing his toys out of his cot in terms of, like, oh, everyone blindsided me. I didn't know what was going on. Like, no one. And you do have that feeling of, like, I don't know who to trust anymore because everyone lied to me. But it was very similar. I don't know. Kirby did a similar thing in our season at that first vote where she knew who was going home in terms of the sexy six or whatever, and she still voted for them. She still voted with them because she knew that it wasn't going to matter. To try and carry favor with them, and then that actually started the feud with Ferris, because Ferris was like, "Oh, you're trying to play both sides," and I just feel like this never plans out. Like, you've got to stick to the plan as the group and be homogenous and just say, you know what, we're all in this together. This is what the vote was.
And I think that was one thing that sort of came up that was a known entity that was like, if we go with this Eliza vote, we're going to piss off Jackson.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that is always a massive risk to take. Yes. And you've got to, as we've sort of spoken about, you've got to have that ready to scoop them up, right? And I think Harry was aware of that and ready for it, but I don't think he quite scooped him up as much as he needed to. Well, he didn't feel as homeless as a lot of people do. He felt more angry rather than homeless.
Yeah, and the fact that, like, he got told that, like, by Lottie, well, Harry's only telling you that, like, about the Loz vote because it makes, like, he's lying to you, basically. And Lottie told that to Jackson. He was like, oh, you really? And she's like, yeah. This is how the game is played. And then Lottie at the same time is really smart, and she's almost like the female Harry at this point. Like, I feel like they think very similar, and she is starting to work on Simon and really laying her hooks into Simon and making Simon feel like he's got someone. And Simon this time around, give him credit. He does mention, he's like, yeah, Lottie's trying to really work me and stuff. But at the same time, by the next episode, he really does fall into it. He's like, yeah, this is someone that I want to play with.
I think I can't remember exactly when it was, but we saw a lot of conversations around, like, who do you want to work with beyond, like, it felt much more targeted beyond, like, who do you want to work with? What do you want? It's like, these are the really smart, intelligent game players who are here. Yeah. You probably want to play with them to a point and to a degree because you know they're going to do good for you at the tribe swap, at the merge, all that kind of stuff, rather than these people who maybe a bit more loose cannon, maybe don't know what they're going, maybe, silver tongue of someone else pulls them over, that kind of thing. So I think we saw that much more targeted of, like, these good players kind of wanting to play with other good players, not because it's like best of the best, but like, oh, I want those claws out there and those eyes out there getting information, helping me as well.
And shields, and it's good to have shields, and it's good to have all these things in place. So there's a lot of reasons to keep someone like Simon, ultimately Lottie does want to keep Harry as well in the game. Yeah, because she does feel like at this point, if you get rid of everyone's support networks, then they are a better shield for you ultimately. And then quickly before we get into the challenge, just dropping in on Baron, we've got to mention about Don and his fake name and him blowing it up. It's Mate, if you're going to lie about your name and then you say, so what do you call your band? He goes, oh, Don Rogers.
Roberts. I mean
Roberts.
Roberts.
I mean,
Roberts. Definitely Roberts.
And then Sally's like, hang on, did you just get your last name wrong? And it was like, yeah,
It's weird.
You cooked, mate.
Do you think there's any like those secrets that people have coming in? No. Is it an all or nothing? Do you either I'm not Matt Rogers' brother or I am?
It's too, honestly, people don't realize it's too
like
hard to be thinking that the whole time.
Yeah.
It's too hard to not, like, the part of this game is connecting with people on a level that is sort of like honest and opening up. And that's how you build relationships.
Yeah.
And if you're in the back of your mind, you're like, don't mention your last name. Don't do this. don't tell everyone you're a lawyer. Don't do this. You can't honestly talk about who you are that well. And you can't be honest with people and they pick up on that. So I don't think it's ever worthwhile. And plus, like, you're not Matt Rogers.
Yeah, who can,
Like, you're not
also
him.
they've made their opinion up of you well and truly, Don. I don't think there's any changing that. I think you made it very clear who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not saving people. But Mark identifies that Don's on the bottom, and he does a scoop. He does a bit of a scoop there.
Yeah,
does a bit of a scoop, gets him up, which is good on Mark for identifying those people and not wasting them. And Mark wants to be able to shape Don in his own image, and then ultimately they create the corn chip mafia with Caleb.
Yes.
That we'll drill into more. And mafias seem to follow Mark around wherever he goes.
They do. Which he did seem reluctant to use that word.
He was very reluctant. He was like, we're called this, whatever. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like
cartel. Can we change cartel? Yeah, it's cartel.
Yeah, I feel like he's like, I've done a mafia thing.
Yeah.
It's there. I want to move on from that. But the Don is mafia. So I get why he's pushing.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
It's Josh, if there's one thing we know, it's classic mafia. It's classic mafia. But then let's just get to the challenge. So we had two challenges. We had tug of war, which
you love a tug of war, don't you?
Me and Charles obviously won our tarp in our tug of war in an ultimate battle of strength with Raymond and Garrick. Such a good.
What did you make of the jump strat to lighten the weight?
Oh, I think it was. Does the jump strat work?
I don't know. I couldn't tell. Like, I really couldn't tell. Maybe physics, maybe it does.
We need Kristen Habicki from Season 50 to come and be like, well, the science of this is actually, So I think it helped. I actually think it must have helped.
Did you find it weird that there were two things that it seemed like once one team got over, they kind of didn't really try and get them back. They're like, oh, they got us. And then when we saw Cameron throw away all of his and we did, what is that? Weird. It's like you run out.
So weird. He just kept throwing.
But also, it's like, okay, then what happens if they keep pulling and the other tribe doesn't pull them back? Is it a draw? Like, I was like, why don't the people on the rope? It's like, no, you can run and grab the bags, but you've lost a person on the rope. Like, it should be something like that.
Oh, I like that, Josh.
Yeah.
I really like that. So you can, and then you lose ground because you're getting the bags back.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good mechanic. Yeah. That's a cool mechanic.
Because it just seemed odd to me.
So when you're doing a tug of war, you can get to a point where you lock in. And it is really hard to pull, especially when it's 3-on-3 like that.
Yeah,
you can lock in and be like, okay, we're just locking in now. Because the thing with the classic, and what me and Charles did as well, like it's about timing and about like going for a pull when they're just about to, or they're off center if they're going to do this, and then you quickly go and then lock back in. You just pull it inch and inch. So there is a lot of timing to it.
Yeah.
But once you are like, we don't want to move now. It is really hard to pull them back. It was just a weird. Yeah, that was so weird.
I still really liked it with like, you know, the dynamics of it's a tug of war plus this extra element. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I like that as well. And obviously, like it is first to 2, but they did like 5 rounds. Like that's and then they just choose the best 3 rounds. Because did you notice there is a shot of Tez in the intro of him pulling the rope, but it's not in this episode.
That you know, ever since you mentioned that, I'm so acutely aware that whenever the host is saying about the scores and the numbers, it's never a direct shot of his face.
Yeah, correct.
It's always VO.
Exactly. So, and so they ended up
Bounty win the cake.
Bounty does, Bounty does.
Bounty win the cake.
And then the Rich is in the mark spot from our season where whoever reads the scroll has to just like divvy it all up. And it's just a cake thing, and he gives Harry and Simon the big cake.
Is there any... it didn't seem to be any fallout from this. Do you think that it's likely that a choice like this is going to have fallout, or it's not?
No, there's no fallout.
Because everyone's like, you just have to do it, right?
It's like someone has to do it. And you know what really helped? That Cameron sucked so much in that challenge that you can give him nothing.
Yeah,
because he mucked it
that's
up,
true, that's true.
and Rich was like, yeah, fair enough. Like
that's
you
true.
got the only thing that is annoying is you do feel like Rich handing it out. He's like, I've got to give myself a low bit of cake, and he
you
did.
do, yeah.
He gave himself the third lowest or something like that, and so
and
that's where that was.
The other thing we had Aisha find the advantage, which we'll talk about later, which is a very interesting one when she gets around to playing that.
Yeah, and
interesting choice.
Funnily enough, this is very similar. Like in our tug of war challenge, we got bananas, and winner had the idol clue in his banana thing. So people, it's the luck of the draw. Like which bit of cake you get, which banana you get. The big part of this game is luck, and you can't go past that. So that's that challenge out of the way. Let's just quickly jump on to the next challenge. Let's just roll through this in this episode. So we've got the other one is the boulders and the ball bags.
You keep saying ball. I'm like, don't pick a different word. Dude.
No, well, this is in memory of JLP. This is the sexual innuendos of JLP.
Okay.
And so they had to roll the hexagonal. It looked like a D20.
Yeah,
it's like they're trying to appeal to the D&D gamers out there. But then there looked like there was a big learning curve with the ramp. Like I think it was made that you rolled it, but then they found it was better to bounce.
It didn't seem like there was any the distance was there. A couple of things I found really interesting about the choices. I think we've continually seen Ben absolutely smashing these challenges. Simon as well. Yes. I think that they've been
Mark.
Really. No, hang on.
Okay, sorry.
In terms of like getting through the physical strong bits, they've both been so strong and super athletic. We're really interested to see how they go as we go. And then Mark, like pretty much every challenge, he's putting himself in that clutch role.
He's putting himself in the hero spot he wants to control.
Do you reckon that's something where he's saying, I just want to play Survivor and that's what I want to do, and I'm just going to tell everyone that's what I'm doing?
Yeah, he wants to. He has the sway of the tribe to be like, I've done this before. I've got a good chance, and it's confidence, man. Because I tell you, newbies don't want to be seen as the person losing the challenge. Yeah. Whereas when you come back, you go like, I'm good at this. I will do it. And when you're in a position in the tribe where you feel like you're confident in your position, you can put yourself in a role like this and get away with losing or get away with winning. Mark's just doing a bloody good job of winning all the time. And once you start that, then it's like, well, Mark wins. Mark does it. Mark pulls it out. And you've got to be cool and calm under pressure. And he's done it time and time again.
But when you've got someone like Don on your team,
oh mate,
he's got a good arm. Don's got a good arm, Eden.
Do you know that's all he's done his whole life? Is target things and throw. Target and throw. Every day he's doing
hand eye.
But it is funny that they do cut to him in the minute to strategize,
going
guys,
like,
I think I'm the guy. No, it's okay, Don. It's okay, Don.
But there's that confidence you're talking about, but he doesn't have the sway in the tribe. So
correct. He's bottom feeding at the moment. And I feel really bad for Harry in this tribe.
He kept hitting it, fall off.
And then you could tell that he was sort of looking off to camera, to like production, being like, "What do you want me to do, mate?" Like I'm hitting it
with the ball.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. And so ultimately they lose.
Baron wins, yeah.
Yeah, and Baron wins, sending them to tribal council. And so then we're into this interesting little scramble, because at first it seems that like it's all pretty straightforward. That like Lyndall is probably on the outs, and
Loz
is probably the other one as well. But it sort of comes out, Lottie starts putting this plan in action where she puts it out into the world that Paula was the one that actually manipulated the vote last time. Paula's the one that's controlling Harry, which I think is a long pull. But then she puts out this Simon was the split vote, which she just made up. She just made up that Simon was on the chopping block, didn't she, Lottie?
Yeah, she said Paula's coming for you. Paula's putting your name out there. Paula's been running the show. And Simon kind of went to verify. It was interesting though, like it's a really interesting moment where we see Simon sort of go to verify that with Harry, but he doesn't actually say, but he doesn't directly ask him, and Harry's all nervous. Like Harry's super nervous about what's happening, doesn't feel he's got a lot of control. Yeah. And I found that really interesting that Simon didn't, based on their conversation I had earlier, didn't flat out go to him. I was like, is Paula coming for me? Has she said anything? I'm kind of surprised Simon didn't do that based on what it seemed like their relationship was.
I'm surprised that Simon didn't go up to Harry and say, geez, this rice is a bit undercooked.
Yeah.
He didn't.
We
It was
didn't
the
see
perfect
that. We didn't
opportunity.
see that. We did not see
Chekhov's
that.
rice, mate. It was the perfect opportunity to do this, and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
So to Harry, I think he was so caught up in his own head that he didn't play into Simon's conversation very well, and he didn't solidify his relationship with Simon. I think he was so worried that shit had turned.
Yeah, and I think he was so comfortable with Simon. He's like, I actually don't need to manage this relationship. I'm fine with that. I've got other people to worry about. But it really did seem like, Paul are trying to get this momentum against Lyndall, but Lottie's coming through real strong and really strong, really pulling people together.
Now, what was interesting about this as well? Now, Lyndall goes to Paula to honestly try and like connect with Paula and be like, I'm hearing a lot of different things. What should we do? And ironically, because Paula wants to target Lyndall, she rejects her and makes her feel bad. Whereas ironically, it seems like she could be a number for you guys at this point. And you could target a Loz, you could target a Rich, you could target these people.
Yeah, it does seem like Lyndall is on the out somehow. I don't quite understand how she's ended up where she has. It seems like no one wants to really work with her.
Remember episode 1 where she was like, do I want to work with Dirty Harry? And she had this moment with him and she like started connecting with him. And I felt like, oh, Harry's got her. Harry's got his hooks in her. And then her downfall is just like, she sort of didn't do the idol swap with Brooke that well. And now she just comes across as really like the Eliza stuff. She's like, I just want rid of her. She woke me up.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the best. It's not the best. And it sort of frustrates me when someone in this position gets an idol because it's not going to be played. Like imagine Harry with an idol in this situation.
Like totally.
Like how
totally
fun
different.
is that?
Yeah,
like
it'd be great. It's another tool to work with, right?
It's another tool. And I feel like Harry's been starved of tools.
But he did so well in the next episode with having nothing and coming up with stuff. One little conversation I just want to touch on was Lottie talked to Lyndall at some time, and I thought it was this really effective conversation he had with her talking about, this is what we're going to do for the vote. And then she said to her, trust me, you're going to get 2 votes tonight. You're going to get Harry and Paula as like, that's what they've decided. This isn't like a backup from me or you're the extra name we're throwing out there. It's like they're voting for you and I'm telling you. And I think I really like that idea of telling people, no, this is what's happening in the tribe and I'm letting you know. So get on board with us.
Yeah, but ultimately there is nothing stopping Lyndall now going, okay, so there's 2 votes on me. So we just need to split 2 other votes on someone else. That's what you say in that situation. And you go,
oh,
cool.
So just in case, yeah.
So cool. So Lottie, you and me, we put 2 votes on Rich.
A couple of people. Yeah.
And we don't tell Rich, and that saves my bacon. And now I feel good. And you feel good and everyone feels good. But in these situations, and this is exactly what I did with the Jess vote in episode 2 when I was out there. I was like, cool, I know a vote's coming my way. I'm not risking my whole game in case Jess has found an idol. So I'm going to make sure me and Cara and Kitty put a couple of votes on Nathan just in case things blow up.
Yep.
There's nothing stopping Lyndall from doing that right now. And the amount of people that just cop it and just go, that's like Don does it in like a couple of episodes. Yeah, that's cool. I'm like, guys, an idol means you go home.
Yeah, well, maybe Lyndall feels different because she's got it. So
maybe,
she's like,
that's true.
There's probably not something else out there, so I probably feel a bit safe.
Now Harry feels that the vibe is off, and this is a sign of a good player. He knows that things are not like falling into place for him, and ultimately they want to weaken Harry by getting rid of Paula. This whole weakening thing, it's all about weakening.
Josh. I don't understand this because we kind of saw it with Eliza, and when you have these pairs, I'm like, just knock off the pair.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand, at this point in the game, you're talking about weakening Harry. I'll get rid of the right hand, get rid of Paula. Just get rid of Harry. Why do you not just target Harry in this situation?
It is strange. If you're going to do all that, like, if you're going to weaken someone to make sure they have no one else, but then they're going to be with you, then ultimately you then need to scoop them up and use them. Whereas they don't do that. They vote off Paula, then they vote off Harry next week.
Yeah, so it seems like such a strange way to do it. If you're really worried that Harry's the threat, get rid of the threat. And then like, what's Paula going to do off the back of that? Probably not too much, you know?
And so ultimately Paula ends up going home in this position. What did realistically she do wrong besides being Harry's number 2?
I think it was just overconfidence after that Eliza vote. I think when something goes your way and you're seen about being a bit chatty and a bit confident and a bit comfortable, I think the way that came together, I think you just have to be really, look at me telling you, I think you just have to be really careful in these first few early votes, like to not necessarily be coming off as a bit arrogant or like in control too much. And Harry was playing into that and playing up to that. Paula almost felt like there needs to be better management of everyone else. I think it was more like, yeah, we can get the numbers, but are the numbers with you because they like you or because they're just happy to get rid of Eliza? And I don't think that bridge was crossed effectively.
I feel like she didn't have any other solid connections with people that could give her information. She put it all into Harry and relied on Harry to sort of play her game. And like that ultimately, when you're playing with someone else who's a returnee, you can get caught up in that. And I feel bad for Paula because she's going to feel like, oh wow, I was playing someone else's game. I didn't sense that things had turned on me. And the tribal council before, yes, she ran around and did it, but she wasn't controlling the group. Everyone just was agreeing. Like she wasn't really like building something that they could work together in the future.
Compared to like Harry or Lottie, who I feel like getting people together in a way by convincing them, giving these stories, giving them reasons of motivation. It felt like Paula was just able to get around and the numbers came together. She was like, great, this is awesome, killing it, you know? But I think hitching a wagon to Harry, I think it's just a bit too much too early, maybe. I don't know. Because everyone else has kind of been sitting back and is fine. You know?
You got to watch out being that extra, the extra person to a strong pair when you're expendable. And so then we're into episode 5, and Harry is pissed. Harry is genuinely, and you could see that he can see it all. Like he knows exactly what's happening, but he can't stop it. Like it feels like he doesn't, like we said, he doesn't have the tools, he doesn't have the connections, and he's like, oh man, this has just got away from me. Like it literally got away from him.
And I think in the face of someone like Lottie running around behind your back, even though I think he did an incredibly good job of actually going to Lottie and really wanting to work. And I think he got Lottie to be like, let's keep together. And I think all the line, which I found really interesting, everyone really focused on the tribe swap at the moment, and talking about there was a great conversation. It was like, would you rather have Jackson or Harry with you in the tribe swap? Like, you know,
it was a good argument. And I agree. I think actually one-on-one with game players, I think Harry has this really great ability to get people on board. By talking things through and being like, look, I know the game, you know the game, we can do this together. But I think he's less effective when there's sort of a hive mind of people that aren't as savvy, because they're just like, oh yeah, he's a threat.
Yeah. Well, because there was a great line that he said to Lottie as well, talking about that, where he was like, if I'm not here and you're with someone else, you're going to have to do all the legwork.
Yeah, like, I thought that was good as well.
I can help you get the stuff you need. Other people don't have that skill set. And I really, really like that, pointing that out of like, that is the beauty and the tension of Survivor. I can help you for a very, very long time till you need to cut me, you know?
Yeah. And then we're just going to move straight on to the challenge probably at this point. So the thing is, so it's an immunity challenge. There's no reward. And there's a little bit of a strat here. When you get told in camp, bring the immunity idol with you, the team that won last time now knows that it's an immunity, but the other tribe don't. And so when you get there, they go, oh no, it's immunity. And so you get a little bit more time to start thinking like, okay, this is immunity. We've got to think about plans. Whereas the other guys are still thinking, oh, reward, this would be great. Let's focus on that. So there's a little bit of advantage there. Yeah. They get there. This is the hanging puzzle. They do a little thing at the start and then the hanging puzzle. Again,
sandbag push.
This is me and Charles won our hanging puzzle. And this was, oh my God, I felt Rich had it out of arrangement and they went back. They had it won, basically.
They really did.
And they went back 3 times.
I think whoever must have laid them out initially must have got it wrong and not paid enough attention, and no one picked it up. Because I imagine they would have just run them down. I did find it interesting that they like lost traction and they got their whole thing was off and they just got stuck right at the end. It really cost them the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. Because you don't need that much. Like the hang puzzles are not super complicated.
No.
You can visualize them quite well. But it was the pattern in the background that you can instantly see. But sometimes when you're too close to it,
totally.
That's why you need the guys that are at the back to go, guys. No. Switch. So that didn't happen till too late. But then this is so epic because then we finish the challenge, right? And then is it this point when the advantage is used, yeah?
Yes, Aisha uses her advantage. Now, let's talk through this. Explain the advantage even.
Okay, so the advantage is in the next 3 tribal councils, the losing tribe, you can save someone from that tribe by removing them, and then someone on the winning tribe, you can then send them to cast a vote in that tribal council.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-vote swing in terms of they don't vote and then someone else comes in there. And that person then comes to live with you, which wasn't told.
Described, yeah.
But they come there and they live with you. Now, I don't know, man. This is I don't know about this challenge, this advantage. It seems so complicated and so like very specific that it could actually work out in an interesting way.
Yeah, I don't mind like a remove someone of like they don't get to go to tribal, and that could be both ways. You know, it's saving an ally potentially or taking a number out. You know, that kind of thing. I like that aspect of it, but having another person come in who doesn't know anything, doesn't know what's going on, and they're only there for tribal, like I don't know what their influence is going to be. Like we saw Harry trying to work Caleb and talk to him and stuff, but like I don't really see how that plays out in a really, really great, interesting way when you've never spent any time with these people. So there's no relationships there.
I think it's more fun is at tribal, you just do a straight swap. Caleb goes over. So Caleb's part of the scramble. And then people could use Caleb.
Him. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And then he can get more information and he can create cross-tribal alliances.
Because also, and then that encouraged them to give him too much information. Whereas, you know, when Loz was over, it's like, well, why would you give any information to Loz? So they gave her a few things. Like, she was giving them information, actually, which is always really interesting. Yeah. These people who go on these changes. It's
guys.
Like, it's like, just keep your lips shut. Also, can we just talk about Aisha's also choice of this?
Yes.
I did not understand at all the choice she made.
So why does she? So she ultimately we're going to decide. So she saves Loz.
Yes.
And she sends Caleb.
Yes.
So I think from an external standpoint, she saves Loz because she wants Loz around, and she's heard that her name is on the chopping block.
I don't think she saw it as save. I think there was something along the lines of maybe she did know they were going to go to the other camp for a bit. And she's like, I don't think she's going to do anything wacky over there. I think that's why she chose her. Otherwise, I don't even know why you'd use it. I don't know why at this point you would remove that vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it just seems so odd.
So you either go, I'm in danger, or someone that I really like's in danger, so I'm going to save them.
Yeah.
Or because you want all your votes, you want all your people there voting.
It just seems, especially when it seemed like Loz was on the chopping block. Why are you removing this option? It just seemed very strange to me.
So the other thing that I thought, I think maybe production wanted it to be like, okay, so the other tribe, there's someone that we get a sense that's really on the chopping block, like Don.
Yes.
So then you go, okay, I'm going to save Don.
Yes.
So now they can't do the easy vote.
Yes. And
I'm going to go over there and I'm going to say, hey guys, I'm putting one vote on Mark because Mark's controlling this thing. Get on board or don't.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's what production wanted, but like one vote over there and save one person that's a target. Like then you've got to know who the target is. There's all these things that.
Yeah, there's a lot to line up.
I don't know. There's a lot to line up. But ultimately, it lined up exactly perfectly because they saved the two people that were on the chopping block that Harry could have got people to vote for.
Yeah, because then we went straight to the individual immunity, which I love the
reveal,
drop.
Josh.
It was great.
That was super cool. So good. That was my favorite bit in the whole episode.
Question for Eden.
Hit me.
Do you like individual immunities at the tribe portion of the game?
Yeah, I think they're fun because they shake things up. So the other thing that they've ultimately done is they've done it at Tribal Council.
Yes.
I don't like that as much from an unfair percentage. One, because Charles went home because of it.
Yeah.
But it means that then if the person that needs it gets it, then you go back to tribal council and it becomes a live tribal. It's a way to artificially create a live tribal, realistically. But the person that needs it has to win it at that point. If they don't win it, it's like whatever. So that could lose out. We saw this happen in episode 7 of Heroes vs. Villains. Like Simon won the immunity individually, which sort of saved him, which set everything else in motion. But so it can have a good effect. But I like the idea of someone winning it now and then going back to champ, and now you can you know who's got immunity, and you can plan around it. And it's for the gamers out there. That seems more fair to me. That now you go, okay, now I've got to reset and I've got to rethink and I've got to do stuff. Like ultimately, Lyndall and Loz were on the chopping block. It was going to happen.
Crazy that you have those two,
and then those two are then taken off the board. And honestly, I think that if they were still out there, there is a much higher chance that Harry pulls something off and gets a couple of votes on a Lyndall or whatever.
I feel like Lottie could have worked enough the room to get it onto Loz or Lyndall, I think. The other interesting thing, like we saw Lyndall with the individual immunity idol, and she had this slide about like, I've got so much power at the moment. I was like, you've got no power at the moment. Like she thinks she does because she's got these tools, but it's like you're on the outs and the names you're writing down and not what everyone's doing. Like it's just... you're not in the conversations. No one's coming to you to work these plans. It's like, it's like just weird to see.
The thing is, you want people that can use the idol, right? That aren't just going to be like, I'm going to hold on to this until I feel like there's conversations, and then I'm just going to use it to save myself. Like you want someone that's like, okay, I've picked up on this. I can play it on Paula now, or I can do this, and I'm going to build an alliance by bringing someone. Like she brought in Loz and told Loz about the idol, if you remember.
Very strange though at Tribal, her asking Loz, should I play my idol? And it's like Loz wasn't even voting with you. Like that's
the one before.
That's how far out she is. It's like it's just so weird to see.
It's so weird. Yeah, it's a really weird ultimate relationship. But then it comes down to we've got Caleb. So now we've got Caleb out. Also, in terms of the individual immunity, Harry's. This is a callback to his pegs. Like losing in his final, so he lost to pegs, and again he just lost it. And Lyndall wins immunity,
could not redeem himself.
Could not redeem himself. And then they go back to the scramble, and it feels like a fait accompli. It feels like everyone is okay. Yeah, it's Harry now. We've got rid of Paula now. Let's all get on board Harry. Lottie's trying her hardest to get it onto Jackson. And then we have this weird thing of Harry's just like, well, I'm just going to burn Jackson now, whatever. I'm going to hold court and make my pitch. Jackson, can you go away? It was quite like good on him. Like he knows he's got to do something at this point.
Yeah, it felt like it's me or Jackson. Well, I'm just going to say my piece. I think he did a really good, going to Lyndall to be like, they're coming for you, like all this kind of, like just trying to mix things up to be like, these are the things that are going on. These are things that are happening. Maybe you need to think differently about who you're voting for tonight. I think he did a really good job of being in a bad position of trying to make stuff happen.
And this is another case of someone, the vote before, he voted Lyndall. And now that didn't pan out. He's got a vote on her. That didn't pan out. Now she has that in her brain. She's like, well, you guys voted for me. So it is really hard to then pull her back in and go, yeah, I know I voted for you last time, but can we work together? And so it's annoying when the people on the bottom that you can usually scoop up and flip and change are not trusting you because you just voted for them. Again, this is another little thing that if he hadn't voted for her last week, the last episode, that she might have been more open to working with him directly. But that sort of bridge got sort of burnt. And but then the other thing that's happening at the same time is that Lottie seems to be losing total control of this group. Yeah. Because Cameron and Aisha, they've got a genuine bond. Like they feel like they're really connected. And I do feel like the stronger the connection like between people, the more open you are about like, yeah, but you and me, let's just do this. And they're a bit more aware of Lottie's trying to control things. But I think she's lost them as like a tight voting block.
Yeah,
with her.
I feel like we're seeing Lottie with a lot of control and influence and power in the tribe, but she doesn't have that really tight person with her, really. And it seemed like maybe that was going to be Harry, and maybe they were going to be able to bounce ideas off each other. But it seems like she's definitely with it enough and smart enough to be pulling these people together and whispering here and, hey, think about this, let's do this. But yeah, she just doesn't have that tight person that makes her feel more formidable. She still feels a bit like an island.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's what she's trying to do with Simon, because she's starting to work a little bit on Simon. And obviously with the last vote, like Simon voted Paula out. Like this is really the fracture between Harry and Simon. And again, there's no talk of bad rice here. Simon, and it honestly in this episode, it does feel strange to me that at no point is Simon like, what are we doing to save Harry? What can we do? He does feel like, I need to put my head down. I need to keep playing this game of just being around the fire, not doing too much, like working hard around camp.
That is absolutely the feeling I've got from Simon. He definitely feels like sitting back, not being a big target, letting Harry's taking that heat. And I think he even said when he voted, he's like, I'm not going to throw away my game to save Harry. So yeah, I'm very surprised to see Simon waiting. It'll be interesting to see when he chooses to jump and start pushing a bit more.
Yeah, and I think he does need to start sort of controlling it a bit more. Otherwise, he's just going to be taken along with Lottie, and then he's just going to be burnt like usual. And it is funny because at first I felt Simon was really onto Lottie, and now I feel like he's like he's playing into her needs a bit too much, and I'm not sure whether he's going to be savvy enough to be on top. But we'll see. Simon, he's evolving as a player. He's evolving. So then Harry comes up with this other pitch. He goes, you know what? Let's just do something crazy. I'm going to steal the flint. We're going to play Russian roulette, and one of us goes home. You're voting at the flint, or you vote Richard.
Rich, yeah.
And you just get rid of Rich tonight.
Yeah.
Now, it's never good to threaten a group of people like this. And it's also, this plan only really helps Harry. It doesn't really help Jackson. Because Jackson, I feel like Jackson knows that it's more Harry than him at this point.
You'd probably get a bit of a sense of that, I think.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, it felt that way, that there was that momentum, and it didn't feel like Lottie was really making any headway. So I think Jackson could feel pretty comfortable. But again, it doesn't really feel like Jackson was really solid. So that's the other interesting thing, that it doesn't really feel like, again, he's been scooped up or been like taken away. And it's like, yeah, it was a weird moment for them to both be the outsiders. And I really like this. It's just like, absolutely just try anything. And it was a really great, fun moment.
Honestly, I would not have thought that up. I would not have thought up like, I'm going to steal the flint, and then basically playing it like a pseudo idol. Like it's a 50-50 between me and Jackson. You could get it wrong, but instead of one of you going home, it's just like you lose the flint and you won't have fire and you can't eat.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting play to pull out of nothing. And this is what, imagine if Harry had some tools. Imagine if he had some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is why he's such a good player, because he can come up with these things and pull things together, and he keeps trying right until the very end.
Yeah, I think that's the most impressive thing, like not giving up. Whereas Jackson's pitch didn't, like, he had that great moment at the end where he sort of revealed the flint and all that kind of stuff. But before then, it didn't seem like he was making much of a compelling case at all for them to keep him over Harry. It didn't seem like he was really trying to defend himself too much. Maybe we just didn't see it, but I didn't get I got a real sense of Harry trying, and did not get that sense with Jackson.
Do you think that if Harry had just sat on his hands, that it would have been a Jackson photo? Because the edit made us feel like, oh man, yeah, Lottie's got everyone on Jackson and they've sort of swung it. And then it was not until Harry sort of was like, I've got this other plan now. I'm going to push back a little bit.
I think
it was always Harry. I think that was just
I think it was probably always Harry, but I think he was maybe a bit more nervous than he could have been. Like, he did seem really, really worried, like with the Paula vote as well. He really did feel like, I'm stuffed here. I'm on the outside. So he did feel like his back was against the wall a lot. So I think he was probably pushing a bit harder than he might have otherwise. And that probably also raises your threat level, because people look how hard he's fighting when he's on the bottom. So it's like, it's a bit of damned if you do, damned if you don't at some level.
Yeah, and did you notice in Tribal Council, and we just better mention, Caleb goes to Tribal Council and screams and yells about how he hates
Caleb was very excited, Eden.
Let's go!
That was from episode 3.
That is good. That is
I
good.
loaded up. So got Caleb excited.
Caleb is very excited. Caleb is very excited. I'm glad he's made the soundboard. Let's go! So Caleb's doing all that stuff. It doesn't really impact in anything. It's whatever. They're already going to do this anyway. It does feel like, I don't feel like anything else changed. But so to me, Harry's game fell apart with the Eliza vote. Because I think if you rewind to that vote and you go, okay, I've got Jackson, I've got Simon, I've got Paula, so that's three people right there, right? Jackson, Paula, and Simon. Then you've got obviously Harry, and then Jackson brings in Eliza. You've got 5. This is you only need one other person to really sort of turn this game out, and that's when you scoop up a Lyndall or a Loz or these people. And it's, I know it was Lyndall getting pissed off Eliza, but then Paula sort of ran with it. I think they gave too much power over to the Lotties and the Camerons and the Ishas and the Alicias. You gave them too much power in this group by doing that vote. And I think if they'd stayed together, because Jackson and Eliza, that can be a vote at 2 votes. That can be 2 votes.
That is the biggest thing for me. You've got a vote, and we kind of saw this from Christian in 50 for anyone who's watching US Survivor as well. He was like, this has to be unanimous. I don't care. It's just got to be unanimous. Let's do it.
Yeah.
If you if you keep Eliza, Jackson doesn't get pissed off, isn't this weird rogue agent. You could easily get rid of a Lyndall or a Loz and no one really cares. Probably a Rich, no one would really care. Like, you're not losing anyone at that point. And I think that cohesiveness is so much more valuable. And I think the chaos that brought, and Harry was aware of it and he tried to mitigate it with Jackson, but I don't think it quite got smoothed over the way it did. And like, I think that alone, that just shifted to the dynamic too much that it was just really hard to come back from.
And I know why Harry didn't push, because he's like, I don't want to be seen as controlling. I don't want to be seen as going, no, the vote is Loz. This is what we're doing because we need to keep Jackson on board because we need this. Paula just seemed to just run away with it. And ultimately, maybe people just didn't jive with Eliza and they just didn't get on with her. And it was sort of one of those votes of, let's just get rid of the person that isn't vibing. Whereas the opposite is always true. You keep that person as a focal point. You keep them as someone like Don. Mark talks about keeping Don around.
You gotta keep Don.
Don is a focal point. Don is someone that's always going to cop votes. And I think they did. I think that's where it all started to sort of fall apart. It'll be interesting to see whether Harry feels the same way. But yeah, ultimately,
it's very sad to see Harry go. I was really impressed with only a few episodes. I was very impressed with what I saw from Harry. So yeah, sad to see him go. Got a good send off though. I think the show really appreciated having him on.
Yeah, and he had his tears in. Like, you can see how much it meant to him. This is his third time. Like, is he ever going to play again? I don't know. He feels like he's done a lot. That way. He feels like he's done a lot, and he's been on the bubble like for seasons. So many Heroes vs Villains. He was on the bubble for Australia versus the World. Like, maybe get him out for an Australia versus the World too if they do that. Or something along those lines. But yeah, it is really sad to see Harry go so soon. The first of the returnees to be knocked out.
Yes.
But Simon sheds a tear, but Simon, you didn't do enough to save him.
Didn't want to in the end, I guess.
Didn't need to. And so that gets to episode 6. And now we sort of shift our attention back to Baron, because this is sort of the big Baron episode. Caleb comes back and just goes nuts. Oh, I got rid of
Let's go.
Yeah. I got rid of a returnee and all this stuff. And then Mark and Brooke are just like looking worried at this point. And then it's so funny, in the morning, Caleb realizes what he was sort of saying to such a big group of people.
I think it was so like insightful for who Caleb is as a character. It's like everyone now understands if you tell something to Caleb or he gets some information or something, you've got to be real worried because he can just run. The fact that he did apologize after, be like, oh yeah, I really went a bit far there last night, guys. Like,
yeah, oh sorry guys. But it's funny when you have information and you come back with the camp and want to tell it.
Oh yeah,
like,
totally.
You want to get it out there, but he did just go bananas, didn't he?
He was really into it.
He was really into it. And can we just have a moment for Tez getting his first confessional of the season? Well done, Tez. Good job, buddy. Thank you so much. So Tez, we get to see what Tez is thinking. He's getting information. He's going out there. He's
just playing a bit of everyone by the sounds of it.
Playing a bit of everyone. And then we immediately get a confessional from like Faith and Keely going like, oh, he's a weasel.
Operation.
I'm like, oh, okay. That seems like
Operation
really
Snuff the Weasel.
Snuff the Weasel.
I
was like, oh, okay.
Brutal.
And then we suddenly hear that Tez is like Mark's BFF, and Mark is scooped up, and we've seen them talk to each other once.
I think Mark scooped everyone up, Eden. I think that's the key. I think Mark has positioned himself really, really well in the tribe, that pretty much like we spoke about the Don, and so he's kind of got Don and Caleb as this little duo. There's this really great way where he's like, you guys are playing so well. God, you guys are playing well.
You guys are just top shelf.
Really buttering these people up. He's got connections with it seems like quite genuine connections with everyone across the tribe. So I think he's done a really good job of not necessarily bringing everyone together, but he's got his little pairs and little trios that he's working with.
But so he hasn't gone in on Sally, Ben, or I believe there's a character on the show called Blanche.
Blanche, yes,
I'm seeing the name Blanche here.
Yes.
She seems pretty invisible across the board. So I want to bring this up here. What I think has inadvertently happened, and this is one of the reasons why having returnees is really good. So you have a returnee and they know how to play the game and they have some moves and they do some things, but at the same time, they are force feeding this information into the newbies. They're giving the newbies a hyperdrive, like learning curve on how to play the game, right? So I honestly feel like Faith and Keely are observing Mark pull up Don, scoop in Tez, do what he needs to do to create these other relationships, Caleb and everything like that. And that has flicked a switch in their brain to go, hey, we need to do what Mark is doing.
Yeah.
And it is Mark has taught them how to play the game correctly. And they immediately go, okay, we're going to get Ben. We're going to get Sally. We're going to go and get these people. And it's like, oh, and this is what's great about having returnees. It forces the newbies to start playing if they're switched on enough.
You see it. Yeah.
And this is what we're seeing right here, right now, that these girls have picked up all of Mark's cues and are sort of not using them against him yet, but
just trying to make
are
stuff
putting
happen,
things in place to go like, oh, this is what I should do to play the game. Because if there's no returnees, Faith and Keely just sort of sit together going like, cool, you and me all the way, let's do this. And we'll just sort of have semi-relationship to everyone else. But this has really locked people in, which I find really interesting. I found it really, really interesting. Johnson tries to like flip Mark back.
They had a couple of conversations.
They had a couple of interesting conversations, but this is not how you win Mark back. You don't talk at him until he agrees with you. And Mark has this little chuckle that like, because at one point he calls out Johnson in one of the previous episodes about like, hey, you put my name out there. And Mark does like, he does this little like, I know I've caught you sort of thing. But Johnson again tries to rebuild these bridges with Mark, but Mark needs to see actions and not just I'm with you now, because once like you're on opposite sides of the coin, and it wasn't until like a fair way through that Mark was like, I think he actually might want to actually work with me,
which I think was the truth. Like it seemed like Johnson is like, well, if everyone's going to work with Mark, I should be working with Mark. I don't want this guy as an enemy because I don't have numbers elsewhere to go against him. So maybe if I can work with him, that's much better for my game.
Yeah, I agree. And it's interesting, but Mark has no desire. Like Mark's made up his mind that he wants to get rid of him and that he wants to
it's
cook
like
his goose.
It's the ghosts of the jungle talking to him, right? He's 100%. Smashed Cat smashing Johnson of like, these people have said my name. It's not worth it. I don't care. Yeah. Like just get him gone, get him out of here. And I thought it was really interesting juxtaposition with we saw how Harry go and his thoughts on Lottie. I know it kind of flipped with Lottie and they were almost going to work together, but like we saw the move from Mark, which was like, I heard someone say my name, let's get them gone. Whereas Harry waited that little bit and maybe that would have been completely different if Lottie had gone or something, right? But it's just interesting to see these returning players with slightly different strategies and Mark really pushing hard, and we'll see how far that gets him. But he's like, if you say my name, I'm going to get you out quickly.
Yeah, look, I think ultimately they didn't get rid of Don at the start, who was the easy vote out. And I think that's sort of the big difference. You don't get that person, that easy vote out first. You play. And it's similar to what Mark and me did in Titans vs. Rebels. Like we got rid of Frankie first. Like that's not the normal vote. In that situation, it would be like, okay, who's annoying everyone? Who can we just like harmony? And that didn't work out ultimately. For the bounty tribe. So then we go to the challenge. And Dave, did you notice the when he was talking about the reward, Josh, the nachos?
What about it?
Well, is it salsa or salsa?
Oh, really?
Because you get the salsa before the salsa. You have the salsa. It must be impossible for a Spanish person to want salsa and get salsa. I love the salsa, not the salsa. So he said salsa instead of salsa.
Okay,
did you notice that?
Did not pick that up.
It's a great. You've got to be a Seinfeld fan to really appreciate this sort of stuff. But I was like, oh, good on you, Dave. He didn't say fixins, but he went the salsa.
There was a lot of fixins on that.
There was so many fixins.
So this was the slingshot, the slingshot in the water. I quite like this. I like the waist high water challenges. I always quite like. I think there's just enough physicality that doesn't feel dangerous, but it's like, and you can pull off some good stuff.
I think they've learnt that in Australian Survivor, you can do those physical challenges in a bit of water. Whereas in days gone by, if you did that on the sand or whatever, that's when people get injured and things like that. But do it in the water, you can really throw people around.
Agreed.
The shoot him off the beam. We hear echoes of Don. Oh, I should be the shooter. Mark, why is Mark doing this? And I'm stuck. That's all I do every day.
The thing I love about this consistently through this every episode, we've learnt that pretty much every challenge Don does every day of the week.
He does every day of the week.
This is what I do every day of the week.
Every day of the week.
Every day of the week. I'm swimming. I'm shooting balls, hand-eye, everything. It was just, it's so funny to see consistently to like, I should have been in here. But we saw Mark advocating for himself. And I think with the slingshot thing, you're probably better off keeping the same person. Get used to it. Get the distance.
You're 100%. And look, there's probably a lot of shots that we didn't see like go wide or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve. It takes a while to get the range. So yeah, you can't afford to have another learning curve unless someone is trash. But Mark wasn't trash.
Exactly. No,
Mark was
Mark's
not trash. He was getting enough.
He's fine.
But yeah, they were knocking people off. And people were falling off. To me, it was it's just so challenged. Like
That's fun.
It would have been cooler if you shot more, like you had more shooters,
rapid fire,
and you actually had to hit them off until they actually like.
Or
fell off
or I was thinking if you add that element of them being able to catch it as well, like you kind of had that like you had that as like a dodgeball kind of thing, which I quite like as well because there's an element of risk there, which I like.
Yeah, and Ben not concentrating and getting hit in the arm, was wild as well. I thought that was interesting.
Ben again, he is dominating these challenge, like just him throwing people through the water and getting around. I'll be really interested to see if he keeps that up. Yeah, when we get to the individuals, it'll be interesting to see if there's many challenges that he excels at, or if the stylistic might be a bit different, like a balancey kind of one.
It could be. Yeah, it could be anything really. Yeah. And so then ultimately, Bounty win it. Yeah, and they get some nachos. And that's fine. They eat the nachos.
They eat some nachos.
They go on their merry way. They get all the
challenge.
And then we're straight into the water crate. So this is you break open you bring the crates, you break them over, and then you do the snake like up and up.
The rampy kind of left to right thing.
Which Josh, you and me have trained at on that. There's a video game.
Was it Ice Cold Beer or something?
It's called Ice Cold Beer, and it's in Bartronica in the city. And you literally, it's the bit of metal, and you've got and it's great survivor training. Yeah,
it's like
get the ball up to the beer.
It's one of those really old school, like early arcade machines. It's completely physical. It's all physical things, and it's almost like a Swiss cheese board thing. And you've got a left and a right, and it's pretty much exactly that challenge. So
it's so good. We've played it quite a bit, and we got quite good at it.
Do you know that Don is actually really good at ice beers?
Every day. I would not doubt it that is something that he does every day. One bit in this challenge. Can we just shout out to Simon? All the challenges Simon looks great in. Simon is so good at challenges, mate. He's so good. He was carrying 4 crates at one point. He was all over it. Like he's really looking good. But yeah, then Don, they gave Don the break the crate challenge. Like he had to throw it down. So
I heard he was doing that last week.
I heard he was breaking crates to get balls out of them. That's what I do, guys. My name's Don Roberts. I break crates. So they keep putting Rich up for everything, which I find quite interesting because he doesn't like every challenge. He's
I haven't quite worked out where Rich fits in the tribe yet.
Yeah, either have I.
It seems like people quite like him now, but he was on the outs at the start, so I don't know.
But even last tribal council, like Harry was like, "Oh, it's Rich. We're putting our votes on Rich."
It's probably easy enough to get votes onto him, so he must be on the outside in some way.
But he hasn't connected. He hasn't really locked in with anyone yet. I'm waiting for him to lock in with someone. And then so they do it. It's pretty close. All these challenges are quite close.
It's so great to have really close. It's so much more exciting and interesting having close challenges. It's been great.
And people are not throwing them. We saw a lot of throw challenge.
Love that
last season. So this is much more interesting. Or did Mark throw this to get rid of Johnson?
Maybe.
I don't know. But did you notice there was a wide shot that did show them starting the last ball at the same time? Like it was.
I think it was real close. Yeah, I think really they totally caught up because they dropped
sometimes they edit around that, but this was really close. Real good. And so obviously Baron loses, sending them to tribal.
Yes.
So this is where it gets really interesting. So Faith and Keely sort of pull up that Mark's pulling people in, and then they want to get rid of like Tez initially, but then that sort of pivots a little bit to Caleb because they feel that he's got Caleb as well. And they scoop up Ben and Sally, which is the correct move to do. They're talking to these people that don't really have a home. And I think Sally's actually all in with them. Sally's really like, yeah, I'm with you guys. 100%.
Sally feels like a good pickup of, she doesn't really have a home too much. I feel like Blanche, Ben, like with Johnson and Caleb, that feels a bit more like a group there. But I feel like Sally definitely wasn't in that. So I think Sally's a good get.
Yeah. I think Blanche, I don't know who Blanche is talking to.
I think it's been Blanche, Ben, Tez, Caleb, and Johnson. I think that's been a little alternate group on the side, I think.
Yeah. So then like Tez is probably the perfect example of someone that gets swallowed up by the returnees edit.
Yeah.
I just feel like his whole game is just sort of told through the eyes of other people at this point, which is unfortunate because I know Tez is a really big fan, but he's not putting himself in a position to be able to do a lot.
Getting information though. Getting information.
Yeah, but then you got to use it.
How do you relay that information to people, Eden?
Well,
shall we discuss that?
Let's discuss this because the plan is put in motion that Faith and Keely want to get rid of Caleb, and so they start going around telling people to almost make it unanimous except for Mark. That's the plan, to get everyone on board and suddenly blindside everyone. Now, they do tell Tez. Now, did you notice or not? Did they tell Tez that not to tell Mark? I can't quite remember.
I don't know. I don't think so. I definitely remember it, like talking to Ben was like, or like talking to Johnson was like, oh, Mark doesn't know. Maybe they didn't tell that to Tez.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling as well. Because Tez, there's a weird conversation that he goes to Mark and he goes, well, I've heard
some things, Mark.
What is actually happening? What is actually happening? Has it changed
some other
again?
Names. Yeah.
And then Mark goes, hang on. You can see the panic in Mark's eye. He's like, what? What is happening? And then Tez suddenly backtracks and goes, oh, no, it's okay. I'm not going to say. And then he obviously doesn't want to say the name that he's heard.
Yeah.
Because now he realizes that Mark is not
doesn't
involved.
know. And it was this weird backtrack of being like, oh, I overheard a conversation. It's like, no, you were in a conversation. And it seems to me this disconnect of like, are you going to tell and have a conversation with Mark about this or not? Because it feels like this half measure thing of like, are you with Mark?
Exactly half measures.
Are you with Mark and want to give information to Mark, or are you with the other guys? And I understand it, just wanting to get clarification of like, I don't know what I've heard. I've heard this. Mark will know. I'll go to Mark. He knows everything that's going on in this tribe. So like, It makes sense to do that. But I just feel like if you want to be with Mark, 2 steps in with Mark, you know?
You've got it. And I think this is Tez's biggest problem. He hasn't decided what he wants to do.
Yes, you're right.
He is... I think he doesn't want to be with Mark, and I think he mucked up. I think he got caught out in having in saying the wrong thing, and then having to backtrack, and now he looks bad, and now he's sort of given the game away, and it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. It's not a good conversation, and this is where the wheels start falling off because now Mark gets a sense of things are not all as they seem, and he's still. But the storyline is. Faith and Keely are getting people on board. And then there's this wild conversation when they go to Johnson and they tell Johnson the plan. And he goes, okay, I just want to consolidate this with these other people because Keely has not wanted to work with him, has not put any effort in. And now she's suddenly coming to him going, hey, you've got to trust me. This is the plan. Now, for a gamer like Johnson, who has played Big Brother, it is really hard when your head is on the line to just go, what, you know what? Okay, I'm going to trust you. I'm just going to take it and I'm not going to, because there's a voice in the back of your head going, this is your game and you're just going to sit there and let someone else do this. You could be voted out and you will regret this for not doing anything. So he does the obvious thing. He wants to consolidate and talk to some other people. He has this conversation with Faith. This is a wild edit. This is a wild edit for Faith because this is not the character that has come through so far. She is like vicious towards him.
I didn't understand why, if someone's coming to you confirm the plan, you're wanting to work with them and get them to do this with you. I don't understand why like she was so aggressive towards about, we shouldn't be talking about this. I've told you what the plan is. Let's stop talking. We're being suspicious here. Get over it kind of thing.
I understand that if it's getting near the end and there's this, so she shouldn't be talking to Johnson right now because Johnson is the vote.
Sure.
Right? So there is a part of it. It's like Mark could very easily look over there or Caleb and go, why is Johnson and Faith having this really intense conversation that Faith isn't being like, mate, cool, yep, it's all good, see you later. So I get that. And this is one thing that happened to me when Caro and Kitty got sort of concerned about the Ray vote. People picked up on them having side conversations looking a bit worried and us having more conversation with them
than you would have,
and going over. And it's like, hang on, why are they having so many conversations?
Yeah.
And that is a trigger point that you can pick up on and go like, hang on, isn't it all agreed? Shouldn't we all just be sitting around having rice right now?
Yeah.
And it is interesting things that you pick up on. So I can understand her thing, but she does not need to say to Johnson in so many words, if you muck this up, I will make sure everyone votes you next time. I will burn you on the way out.
Yeah,
you are destroyed.
So strange.
It was so wild, like
very
threatening.
Strange. Yeah,
like,
very strange.
It seems
and
really
I love Johnson
strange.
like, cool, thanks for the threat.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, am I meant to be working with you? Like, this is not selling the idea to me.
I know. And so then at this point, they have the last person they bring in is Brooke.
Yeah.
And this is the danger zone because you don't need Brooke here and you don't really know how deep they can. And maybe this goes back to Mark and Brooke doing a good job of hiding their relationship. but they don't need to bring in Brooke, and they do. And I feel like this is where the plan falls apart.
Yeah, Brooke seems really what are we doing? Whoa. Kind of like, why are we rocking the boat so much? We don't need to do this. So, but it's interesting. And I also got a bit of a sense of Brooke not wanting to turn on Mark either. Like, I feel like she wants to retain that and keep that really rock solid. 100%. And so I feel like she must have done a good job of backing them away from it and being like, this is no good.
Yes, I think she was the pushback, and I think they just didn't show how much she pushed back to keep it a bit interesting for Tribal Council.
Yeah.
But then we go into Tribal Council, and Faith is like, I feel really safe, which is never good. But then Brooke crazily pulls out her idol.
Yeah.
And then plays it in this sort of aggressive way of like, I could play this for me, or I could play this for an ally.
Because I thought, that was her just demonstrating to be like, hey guys, definitely don't do the plan you were talking about. Like,
that's what I thought as well.
This is like a subtle thing to be like, just stick to what we said, please. This is me intimating that again and reinforcing that. And
then there's to do that. And then I thought, okay, well now she's put it out there and she's got this thing. Should she, like, is she burning the idol now? Because she ultimately plays it for herself. Is she burning the idol because she doesn't want the target on her back? But I think there was something about this idol could only be used up until swap.
Maybe. I don't know.
Something around
that. It doesn't make
it doesn't make any sense
right?
otherwise.
It doesn't make any sense otherwise because it didn't seem like she was nervous about the vote of being on her, that kind of thing. It didn't seem that way. So it must be something like that.
Because if you're solid that the vote's going the way that you want, and then if you are going to a swap soon, that's the time you do want an idol.
Yes, absolutely.
The only other thing is that Lyndall knows that you have the idol, so she could have told everyone.
And then you become a target.
Yeah. So you don't know what Lyndall's done. But then again,
you'd still rather have it than not. It must have been going to
If you're a target, at that point, if you're a target, you'd rather have it. And not go like, I burnt it. Yeah, exactly. And so then... Yeah, so then it's basically a split between Don and Johnson. And I don't know, Tez voted Don?
We had Johnson, Ben, Blanche, and Tez voting for Don. So this little quad on the side, we heard that line from Tez as well, I'm not a sheep, being like, I'm not going to get told by other people what to do. So it seems like Tez has picked his side to be like, this is my chosen side. The other side is courting me and going, hey, you should come and do Johnson. That's what we're doing. So it seems like Tez has chosen poorly and picked the wrong side.
He's chosen poorly. He's not chosen the cup of a carpenter.
No, he has not. He absolutely has not.
I'm pretty sure that Ben was told to put Don in case Don there's some idol or some play or something sneaky.
I think it's a backup for those.
They just wanted a split, but I'm not sure whether Blanche also knew that because they did tell Ben the plan to vote Caleb. And then they need to go back and say, now it's on Johnson.
Because it kind of was also, Don was happy to be the smokescreen as well. Again, very happy to have his name as the second name.
And again, Don insists that there's a split vote.
Yeah.
If you've got enough people, if you're only worried about Johnson flipping, then you go, oh, can we have one? I'll just put my vote on Blanche.
Yeah. I'll throw a few out as well. But he's just not thinking that way, right? It's just like, well, we got a plan. Great. It's almost like he wants to take a shortcut to live like, have we got a plan? Is that what we need? Great. I'll give you that. Yep. Cool. It can be me. Sweet. And then we don't have to keep running around and think on it too much.
Yeah. And so then, we go to vote and it's split Johnson Don. And look, I just think, now, is it any coincidence that the two people that have gone home first in this tribe are the Traders player and the Big Brother player?
I think that's no coincidence.
Yeah,
I think Mark has very much targeted them as potential game players and people in this space. And I think he's heard his name floating around them. And so he's like, these are the people who can get other people together, get a vote together.
Well, Mark says it, the corral vote. These are guys, and we often talk about who can actually get people on board.
Yeah, and I think it's
could definitely do that.
I think it's no coincidence at all that they've gone. So tell me, what could Johnson have done differently to save himself?
Well, I think he needed to not focus on Mark. I feel like he needed to identify that Mark was a sinking ship.
Yeah,
and I think he needed to try to do the scoop. I think he needed to try and get Tez, get Ben, get Blanche, get Sally. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need someone else at that point. And it is hard because you've got Faith, Keely, Brooke, Mark, Don, and Caleb. So could you get Caleb back? Could you go, mate? this like come back with us. Let's do something.
Yeah,
and
it
then
seems
you've got
like
the majority.
It seems like there's enough people there that you
take
could
control.
probably. But I think, I think it's
Caleb
hard.
Caleb said that there's a Johnson and Friends alliance, which is
Johnson and Friends is great.
which is a
I'm so
really
happy
good
about
alliance
that.
name that only
I
got
think-
mentioned in passing.
I think one of the problems that Johnson had was, and full credit to Mark for this, he didn't have Don as the easy direction. Go, hey guys, we all hate Don. Let's just get that. Because Mark's taken Don and be like, no, Don is with me and we're keeping Don.
Yeah.
So you remove that person, that easy vote that you could get people behind. So I think that's really smart by Mark to be like, there's no other option now. Like as an easy option
Yes, there's no
for Johnson to try and build around, there's not really much around.
Yeah, and Johnson never seemed to get in strong with an alliance. He never seemed to
Didn't seem like
really
he found
lock
his feet,
anyone
no.
in or find his feet. And he is a dangerous player. I 100% agree that he is a really dangerous player. But now we've lost some game players.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah.
a bit unfortunate for the overall season because you want these. I like watching the show. I like having some more of these people involved because it makes it really interesting. What can happen?
Yeah, totally.
I'm just worried that like if we keep too many Blanches.
Well, we'll see. She's had a bit of action in the challenges, so we'll
She's had a
see.
bit of action. I don't know, Josh. She needs to be really vibrant to turn
We'll see.
herself around.
I think we're gonna have a Blanche moment.
Okay.
We'll have a few moments.
Okay. Blanche moment incoming. Blanche's big move. You heard it.
Blanche's
here first.
big move.
Yeah, Blanche's big move. But yeah, Josh. Okay, so today, who do you think spun and gran?
Spinning grin.
For this week, I might almost put it towards Simon, maybe.
Because he gave up on Harry.
Well, a little bit. Like he's got through. He doesn't have that threat on him. He's switched over when it is correct too. Like he's not hitched his wagon to the wrong.
Yeah,
horse.
he hasn't wagon hitched.
Or is it? Are we leaning back towards a Mark still in control?
Well, Mark is in control, but that last episode, there was a lot of movement from Faith and Keely.
Yeah, that's
actually,
true.
you know who did well to right the ship? Brooke, probably.
I didn't see too much of it though.
We didn't see a lot of it, but maybe Keely. Faith, I didn't love that conversation she had with Johnson. Keely was doing a bit of work.
I didn't get anything done though. That's the problem.
Yeah, well,
right?
that's true. Didn't get anything done. Yeah, maybe we give it to Simon. Because he was in a lot of the action and he saved himself and he's built a little something with Lottie on the side.
He's building something with Lottie on the side.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'll swing it between a bit of Mark and Simon. I think because Mark's done a good job of like pulling people in. And
Yeah. Ultimately, he still has control of the tribe, and it still did go. It did go the way that he wanted.
Yes.
So yeah, I think Simon and Mark probably hit the baby. And Josh, who ruffled some feathers?
It was to rustle
Ronaldo.
feathers,
About
ruffle
that.
feathers.
Very good.
I'm a bit torn between Harry and Jackson because I almost feel that Jackson's final Flint reveal was the biggest rustle.
Yeah. Well, actually, we didn't really mention that clearly enough, did we? That Jackson ultimately turned on Harry and just
Yes,
burnt
he
him
did.
completely, and
He
was just
did.
like, "Yep, this move doesn't actually help me. I'm actually going to save face." And did you know in that situation, Harry did try and get Jackson to like there was a reason why he gave the Flint to Jackson. And in the Tribal Council, he did say, Jackson, tell him what we were talking about. Because he wanted Jackson to present the pitch. And so
to be like,
it wasn't
his
seen
plan.
as dodgy. But then Jackson just burned him completely. So
But what
maybe
if Harry?
Jackson,
What if Harry had the Flint though? Would that have changed it?
well, I think Jackson then goes, Harry's got the Flint. I don't have it.
Yeah, vote him out.
And then be like,
release the
oh,
Flint.
that's what someone would say that wants you.
So do you reckon? I reckon Jack. I think that was a pretty massive moment. That was pretty great. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, let's give one to Jackson, and then I think maybe look, Caleb got very excited this episode.
Caleb.
What happened?
Where's Caleb?
Come on, Josh.
Let's go.
Is Caleb? Yeah, Caleb is an interesting one.
Yeah, maybe
we'll give
him-
one to Caleb.
Him coming
Let's
back.
go.
And I'm
You
just
said rustle feathers.
just
I
a
think
little one for
maybe-
Caleb there.
I think maybe you rustled some feathers there. Great. So another 3 episodes in the books. We've lost Daniel, Eliza, Harry, Kat, Johnson. So it's going to be very interesting. Oh, and Paula. Can't forget Paula. Poor Paula. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the next 3 episodes. I think things are heating up.
Yeah, and we'll have your exit interviews up as well, so you can check all those out.
Yes, please check them out. Like and subscribe as always. It really helps us if you make a comment and tell people to share.
And if you are listening to audio only, just leave us a review on Spotify.
Yeah, that actually
Apple
really helps.
Podcasts. Yeah,
that actually really helps. Just take a few seconds and review it and give us, because we want it to grow, Josh. And if there's any special guest that you would like on this season to talk with us, give us a suggestion and I'll reach out to them and see if they want to come on and debrief with us.
Good.
That's it from us. Thank you very much, Josh. And we'll see you next week for some more Survivor AU craziness.
See you, folks.